pretty much not convinced with the moral being said on the video that I have made. Unfortunately, what ended up happening was I gave another speech on that same last shorts video, but that was in English. And then the whole point of saying the story in Hindi was just not making any sense all of a sudden. So I'm going to say the moral of the story over here, and I also want to share with you what the story was. So if at all any one of you is good in translation, is good in talking purely in Hindi, I would really want your help, truly, guys. Like, literally translate the story and then the message I'm telling you right now, so that everyone, even the Hindi viewers, can get the benefits of it. Obviously, my channel is for my mates, right? For my fellow Indians, and I want to help as many as possible. So here we go. What the story was, and yes, this is a real life based story, but instead of saying who I took it from, instead of saying what the person's actual name was, I just changed some of the important details, as in the person's actual name, person's actual gender, so like literally no one can recognize who this person is I am talking about. And just to give an example, I gave an example saying this person's name is Rohan. Okay, so I'll tell the story right now, right here. And whatever I'm saying, please translate it to Hindi. Don't put it into Google Translator. I tried that, and that kind of doesn't work very well. And the Hindi that Google Translator gives is like very old Hindi that nobody talks like that right now, so I wouldn't prefer that. So if you, particularly you, can help me, I would like your help, not your Google's help or anyone's, not a shortcut help. If I could get a shortcut help, I would have already done that. But again, it's completely up to you whether you want to help or not. Okay. Yeah, so the story is, Rohan sees TV, and when he's seeing the TV, he sees Lata Mangeshkar or any other singer on stage, and then he hears his family members praising the singer, and he has this desire in his heart right then and there that he want to be a famous singer one day. And this desire kind of do not burn out at all. He kind of also believes, as he is growing old, that he is someone who can make it, someone who can do it. And he naturally have this positive attitude and positive self-talk within himself. Like, I would be a great singer one day. I can see myself being a great singer. That's how he always thinks about himself. Now, every now and then he hums a song or sings a song. And one time, some of his relatives and family members were in home, and just to visit them and his family members. And he also was being visited by his cousin brother. So what ends up happening is, he's as a practice, he's just humming the song and singing the song for himself, and he's really happy about it. But when he's singing the song, he hears someone lapping behind him, and then when he turns his back and sees who is the one who is laughing, and then he figures out his cousin brother, his older brother, is laughing at him. And he was a little bit hurt, and then he was a little bit taken aback, as in, like, why was he laughing? And then he asks him the same question. Then his cousin brother says to him, "You know what? You're not a good singer. You sing really terribly, and that's why it's funny." And this hurts him really bad, because all he wanted was to be a singer, was to be a famous singer and all that. And now it almost feels like, oh my god, how can I be a famous singer if I'm not a good singer in the first place? Now he's thinking about it every day, especially all these thoughts are coming out at night. and he cannot shake that off. But this is also a short term thought process that happens in his mind. Like he thinks about it for 2 days and then he's like determined. You know what? It doesn't matter. My cousin brother, either which ways, he's making fun of me all the time, and I don't think he meant it that way. He just wanted to tick me off, and then he shakes it off, and he again, and then he kind of, goes to the mirror, and this is a big scene in his life. He goes to the mirror, looks into his eyes, and approves himself of being a singer, of wanting to be a singer. He says to himself that I am super singer. And so he continues, and there comes a TV show that says that if you are a kid around 5 to 18 years or 16 years old, you can come for the audition for this singing competition. Now, this is what he wanted all the time. So what he does, he asks his parents. Initially, the parents are like, "No, we won't have time. I don't think you should do that. I think you should study instead and stuff like that." But then he keeps on insisting his parents. He convinces his parents that he still want to go for the auditions, and then his parents is like, "Okay, fine, whatever, we'll go." Then he's like very happy that his parents has agreed to take him to the audition. And the initial first audition is happening around his in a college type place, and then he's going there and he's super pumped up because a, he has his parents support, and b, he is close to being what he wanted to be all the time. Like he just can, like, he's on cloud nine and he's happy. He's really really happy. And then his audition times comes. Now when he's about to audition, he goes to the judges, and then he talks to the judges, and then he is pretty confident. He's not afraid of judges or something like that. So this is also very impressive for the judges, because judges also says as a compliment that, you know what, I like your confidence. A lot of kids come around here, and then they are, they are a little bit afraid and nervous, and I like it that you are confident in yourself. So he is more happy, more pumped up, because he has shown that confidence that no kid has shown, or lesser kids has shown. And then he, inside of his mind, he pats himself on the back, and then the judges says, "Now you can sing anytime now." And he is like, "Okay, I'll sing the song." He clears his throat, closes his eyes, and then he starts to sing. Now, while he's singing, the judges are listening to him. Now, there comes a time that after like some half part of his song, he opens his eyes just to see what is the judges' reaction, and then he sees that judges are listening to him intently, and that boosts his confidence even more. And he sings really happily. He's singing with all his emotions. Now everything is going good, going well, but then suddenly judges ask him to stop singing. Now there comes a little bit of doubt in his mind, as in, why did the judges wanted me to stop? Was I not singing a good song? And then he shakes it off, thinking, "Oh no, I think I'm just, thinking like that. I don't think that that might be the case. Obviously, judges was listening to me intently, so maybe they might be selecting me or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are going to select me." So that's how he convinces himself. But then the judges tells him that this year you cannot come to Mumbai. Not like rejecting on the face, but yeah, something like that. And then he asked to clarify what is the feedback or something, like what went wrong. Not exactly feedback, or what went wrong, tell me. He wants to know that. And the judges are, telling him something like he couldn't remember the whole scenario because he was so emotional at that point of time. All he could take was certain words from the judges, and he remembers judges saying something like, not everybody is talented to be a singer, and maybe something else is for you, or something like that. And then that kind of hurts him really, really bad. And then he goes back, and now the next clip is he's in the sofa, and his family members has tried to convince him all along, through the car ride, and then he is not convinced, he is not happy, and he is feeling really bad about it, and he cannot focus on anything in his life for a long time. Like when he wants, he cannot seem to be hungry for eating food, or he cannot seem to be focused on the studies or something. His parents are soft on him because they understand that this might have hurted him, so that way it's a good deal, but still it hurts. It went on for one day, for second, third, fourth. But on the fifth day, something changed. Something snapped inside of him. It was like a sher jag gaya. What happened was he told himself, like, it doesn't matter if, my brother laughed at me saying that I'm not a good singer. It doesn't matter my singing was rejected, saying that I'm not talented enough. It doesn't matter if my friends are laughing at me saying that I'm not a good singer or something. As long as I still have the desire to want to be a singer, I'm going to pursue it 100%. I'm going to give my all to it. And he goes to the singing. Initially, he's not confident enough to tell this thing to his parents, but so what he does is, act like everything is normal and he has moved on from that singing thing altogether. And when he would be alone, um, he would open up a YouTube channel for how to sing, a YouTube video for how to sing type of tutorials, and he would practice it, he would learn it. And after like 6 months or so of learning, he decides to go for a singing class. He again asks for his parents' permission, and they agree for him to go to the singing class. He goes to the singing class. He is really really serious about this, and then he does everything he can. Even though it's been years that he has practiced singing, he's not taking himself for granted. He wants to go all in. He wants to learn everything possible, and then he would apply for singing competition again. And by the time that he has learned all the lessons of singing as possible, that by that time he is of 20 years old, and he is again studying, part-time study, part-time job, and everything. His normal life is going on side by side, and he decides that now is the right time that I should go for the audition once again. He goes for the audition, and unfortunately gets rejected once again. And yet it feels hurt, and he still did not give up. He continues to say to himself on the mirror, looking at the mirror. Actually, there was this. Okay, leave it be. Yeah, he goes again towards the mirror after some time, proving to himself that I am a super singer and I will be a super singer. I will be the famous person, and I believe in myself. As long as I want it, I will pursue it, and I will give my whole heart and dedication towards it. He gives this beautiful line towards to himself when he's looking in the mirror. And once he does that, again life has to go on, right? So he gets a good job, gets a good wife, he moves on kinda, and he's practicing side by side from again YouTube, and different modes of singing. Now he's trying for opera, not just Indian classical musics and stuff. So he's actually trying his best again. He's putting in the hard work that he knows he has to. And once he is 26 years old, he goes and tries again to be a singer. He goes for the audition, and ta-da! He is being selected. It is a great moment in his life. He's happy to the core, and he almost burst into tears because it was literally his hard works that has come into fruition. Then he doesn't take it for granted. He still practice, he still continues everything, like vocal exercises or diet that can help him sing better. And then he wins first round, wins second round, and he just, you know, he just keep winning every rounds, and he's not eliminated. While others are getting eliminated one by one, finally there's just one opponent that is remaining. And he knows what it means. He knows that this is what I wanted, to be the famous singer and then to be the winner of this competition. But there's this fear that does creep into him, because if after all this thing, if he fails, he thinks that he cannot see eye to eye with himself, and he is nervous, he's stressed out, but he tries to calm himself down and practices a lot more. He sometimes loses sleep because of this nervous energy, but at the end of the day, there comes the time that it is being live casted. The TV show is being live casted, and he has to sing now. So he goes to the stage, he takes a deep breath and prays to God one last time and starts to sing. After some time, everybody sings their part. After some time, the opponent in him, Rohan himself, is standing on the stage, and the host announces that now we are going to tally the votes and tell you who the winner is. His heart is racing, and what ends up happening is someone says his name. He's shocked. He's not there for a while, but once he understands who took his name was the host, and what he said was the winner is. So Rohan won. After a period of shock, he understands what it means. He has been given the trophy and he's the winner, and now he has achieved his dream. Finally, I am a super singer. He said this to himself over and over all the time, and now it is true. Now, the moral of the lessons is really important that I wanted to share with you. First things is, this is the part of law of attraction and affirmation, if you can take it out from this. But that's not just it. This is about worth. This is about, you giving word to your, sorry, I'll just say Rohan giving word to himself. He believing in his heart that he is a super singer. It's not about, like, he could have easily been swayed away by the other people telling him like he's not a good singer. If, like, for example, a lot of people I know have, have been discouraged and have stopped pursuing their dreams because of what other people have said to them, or what the certificate had said about them, or what the numbers have said about them, or anything. And trust me, it has happened with me as well, and that's why I'm in a better place to tell you what this is all about. Our worth in our society, okay, it's not just about India, but also it's about the whole planet. Okay, everyone on earth is doing this. Our worth is unfortunately being determined and decided by others. Who gave this right? Like, for example, if I have, so if the school has said that I am, I'm someone who has 97% in my score, then I am smart. If the school certificate says that I am, I've just passed, then I am dumb. Who said that? Who gives that? And how come it is true? Like, you can do your own research if you want to. How come it is true that someone who is drop out of college or drop out of education system altogether, or has failed their education system, is now in a great position? Some of the famous people are someone who is uneducated. How come is that possible? I One of the example, I believe, it's Sachin Tendulkar. Now, don't quote me on this. I mean, you can quote me on this, but then I don't remember completely, okay? But then I have a feeling, I think it was him who couldn't do his 10th standard or something, and then he went for, like, you can, go ahead and search the inspirational stories of real life people, or any kind of autobiography. You will understand that a lot of people do not have a good score in their college or studies. And Einstein, okay, Einstein is someone who couldn't go to school, who could not. And he is the smartest one, he is a famous one. How come is that possible? Yeah, we have given tons of, importance to what other people think about us, in terms of judgment, in terms of criticism, in terms of verbal judgment, or in terms of paper judgment, which is like, you know, certificates and all that stuff. But who is giving them right to decide who we are? It's us. Ultimately, it is us who give them permission to, yeah, sure. If you think I'm fat, maybe I'm fat. Yeah, sure. If you think I'm not smart, yeah, maybe I'm not smart. We are repeating that, their thought or their judgments about ourselves in our head over and over. But why do we have to do that? Why can't we believe something about ourselves by our own, without having any grounds of, you know materialistic things? Like, for example, everyone wants this approval from the other person, you know what I mean? Like, I think, like, example of the Rohan itself. Like, if it was a different Rohan, right? He would have been like, "Mama, Papa, I want to be a singer. What do you think of about my singing?" Or, Bhaiya, I want to be a singer. What do you think about my singing? Just to get the approval. It has happened with me as well. One of my friends has asked me, "What do you think about my work?" Or, please, it's like, no, it's not that they are asking me to give them my opinion, but it's like they want me to encourage them. They want me to tell them good positive words that yes, you can do it. But If you know you want that, why can't you be the one who is giving yourself the encouragement? Because ultimately, no other relationship of ours is 24/7 with us. Think about it. Like, we are thinking 24/7. Obviously, sometimes, like when we are sleeping, we don't know that we are thinking, but the dreams are the part of thoughts as well. So, like, when we are thinking about anything, right, we are having a mindful conversation. I mean, like a conversation in our own mind with ourselves. We are having this all the time, isn't it? Even right now. So, literally, the only person we talk to 24/7 or 18/7, depending on our sleep timings, is us. Nobody talks to us constantly, and therefore, nobody can tell us the positive words the way we want it to be. Like, just say that even if one person has approved of Rohan, saying that, yes, I think you are a good singer, you can make it. Still, it is Rohan who can decide whether, he wants to take that compliment or not. For example, he can, most of the people who has a self-esteem issues, or ignore about self-esteem issues, most of the people, what they do is, oh no, you're just humbling me, you are just a humble person, you are just, make saying that thing so I can feel better about myself. I don't think you mean it. That's what a lot of people think. And therefore, you reject the other person's idea about you. And this is a great deal. Why it is a great deal? Because you know that you have the power to reject the other person's idea. That means if someone is saying to me that you are a terrible person or you are not a good singer or something like that, I can reject that idea. If I can reject good compliments, I can obviously reject bad judgments about me. Can I not? Obviously, see, there is a thin line between what I'm talking about. There is something called arrogance, which is like, oh, I don't think you mean it. I am the best and stuff. So that's a very different thing that I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is self love. And when someone has self love, they don't need to be arrogant because they know that sometimes it's hard and sometimes not all the time that they are perfect and stuff like that. They approve of themselves of who they are as a human being. That's self-love. Arrogance is someone who do not want to take any kind of thoughts about themselves that is negative. They always and only want other people to compliment them, and if nobody compliments them, they would not even, you know they would not take that, and they would still act the way they are acting. And if someone is having a self-love pattern for having a self-worth, right, self-love, then what happens for those who have self-love is they can better themselves, whereas if someone is arrogant, they are mostly defending themselves, or they are mostly, what do I say, um worried. Okay, in their head, they're like, arrogance is not what it seems to be. It's like in their head they think that people are attacking them, and that's why they become so defensive. You know what I mean? But it's not about attacking you, you know. It's not about, if I'm arrogant, it's not that people are attacking me. If I have this understanding that they are just helping me to improve myself, and it is okay to have flaws, then that would naturally melt down my quote arrogance. Because arrogance is not arrogance at all. It is actually the byproduct of thinking that everybody is attacking me, everybody hates me, everybody is doing this, I don't know what to do. And therefore, in reverse, what they are doing is, no, no, I'm good, trust me, I'm good. They are fighting with the world, and that's what it is. And therefore it is this is like a big difference between saying to yourself that you can do it versus saying to yourself that, oh, I am perfect the way I am. I mean, perfect is also good, but I hope that you understand what is the difference between taking it defensively, taking other people's judgments defensively versus taking other people's judgments to consideration and understand where they are coming from, and then think whether you want to accept or reject them. Okay? Yeah. So have self love. That would that will like mostly create um a good space for yourself any which ways. And somehow we feel good when we are talking very negatively towards ourselves. I would rather talk to myself negatively than talk to myself positively. That's, I think, bad. That's selfish. This is the attitude of a lot of people. But selfishness and self love is totally different once again. If you're thinking that if by saying nice things to yourself you're doing a wrong thing, first of all, do not feel guilty. It is only a practice of self love that we are doing towards ourselves. Okay? It is a good thing. I'll tell you what is the difference between selfishness and self love. Selfish person is a person who do not care if, like, obviously selfish person also wants something, self love person also want something, and they both are okay with pursuing what they want. But when a selfish person is pursuing what they want, they do not care how many people they hurt along the way, or even if they hurt at all, they do not care if they are hurting other people, if they are doing anything morally or not. They do not care what it takes to get what they want. It doesn't matter whether the other persons are hurt or not. That's selfish. And self love is when a person, and this message, I don't know, I hope you understood, this message is not just for girls. This message is for boys and for trans, for everyone. Okay, whatever your age is, it doesn't matter. This message is for everyone. Okay, so the self love is where a person knows what they want and they would never hurt other person intentionally. And if they end up unintentionally hurting someone, they would apologize from their heart and they would fix things, and they care what is going on. They care whether they are doing it morally or not. You understand? That is self-love. So why are we feeling guilty about being having love towards ourselves when it is a pure thing by itself? It's not selfishness. Both are really different, very different. So yes, telling yourself nice words, as in like I am worthy of my dreams, my goals, or saying to ourselves the word of affirmation of whoever we want to be. Like for example, if um this is an extreme example, actually. I don't know why I sensed this, but just imagine someone went to jail and then they came back. Now they have, like, they might have made a mistake and it was not something that they did intentionally in the first place, whatever the crime was. Now, and I'll tell you something else in by the end of this jail example as well. Okay, okay, they know in their heart that they are a good person, but everybody would think that they are not a good person because they went to jail, because they did something to hurt other people, and now that's how the other person is judging. Just imagine making a mistake and going to jail, and like literally everybody would be saying a lot of things, and then society wouldn't forgive easily at all. Like society doesn't forgive us for doing the normal things in our life. For example, I've seen this video on YouTube, no, on Facebook, saying that a girl is wearing a sleeveless shirt, and then that is being talked about in the town. So society, if they do not forgive someone who is not even doing any crime, who is not even asking someone else to wear something that others are not comfortable with, who is wearing something that they feel comfortable with, you know what I'm saying? They have made a decision for themselves. It's not like they are asking someone else, no, you know what, even if you're not comfortable, please wear, short sleeve dress or sleeveless dress because I want you to do that or something. That's not what they did. They did it for themselves. They felt comfortable in it and they are doing it. And it's not a crime. Everybody knows it's not a crime. How do we know? Because we have seen on movies, we have seen it on, um, you know, YouTube videos and everything. Like a lot of girls wear sleeveless dresses. There is nothing wrong with it. But still, if it is a gossip topic, it will be a gossip topic the till the entire time. And then there, um, even if the girl next time she wears a full sleeve dress or a different kind of dress which has sleeves, that would also be talked about. Like even then there would be some taunts from by the relatives saying that, oh, I thought that you will be wearing even more shorter dress or something, the last dress was so bad. So so if society is not forgiving in terms of dresses or in terms of other things, how can society be forgiving when it comes to someone really going to the jail and coming back? And this person definitely would feel really shitty about themselves, right? How would they feel good when everybody is beating them for doing a mistake? It was a mistake. Anybody would have been there, and anybody would have been, would have been sent to the jail for doing that. And still, if a person has in their heart saying that, no, you know what, I'm a good person and I know it, I don't care who believes it or who believes about it or not, but I know in my heart that I'm a good person. If you have seen a Harry Potter series, no, I would suggest to go for the books actually. If you have seen the books, read the books, then you know that Harry Potter was feeling really bad about other people judging him, saying that he lied, and he knows that he said the truth. So even if he said the truth, and still when other people were constantly saying that he was lying, he still felt bad. He felt like he wanted approval from the other person. And when I don't know, there came this another movie in my head, but I couldn't say the name of it. I don't remember the name, but there came a time, there came like I was watching a movie on the internet, Amazon Primes, I believe. But yeah, the movie was about one person being judged by the rest of the world, and then he just asks his partner, "You believe in me, don't you? Do you believe in me?" And then the partner says, "Yes, I do believe in you. I know that you cannot do something like that." And he just calms down. He do not care whether the other person is approving of himself, whether other person understands that he has not done that, whether other person has proofs that he might have done something wrong or something like that. But this one person, this partner of him, just this one person, okay, telling him that I trust you, I know it was not you, it made him feel okay. It made him feel like now, even if I go to jail, I don't care because I know you trust me, and that gives me strength. Just imagine if that one person can make the whole difference. Why can't we be that one person for ourselves? Isn't it powerful, guys? If that one person can give such a tremendous strength to that guy in the movie, why can't we, us, ourselves, be that one person telling to us that, you know what, coming back to the jail example again, you know what, I am a good person and I know it in my heart. I know that I didn't do that on purpose and I don't need to beat myself up. Can you imagine how powerful this is, guys? And one more thing. Yeah. Since I have spoken about jail as an example, I would like to clarify what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is a wrong person being in the wrong time and going to the jail for the crime that he didn't do, or that he or she made a mistake of. What I'm not talking about is criminals. I'm not talking about them. I'm not asking someone who did make a mistake to justify themselves for no reason. And this message will still not apply to them any which ways, even if they will. I mean, I don't think they would be listening to this one, first of all. But even if by default someone is listening and then they have bad intentions in their heart, even now, trust me, the arrogance in this case would kick in if that is so. But no, I don't think so. Wait, I'll tell you what. This message would still not be taken by them the way I intended to, because my messages is about self love, and the people who do commit crime, intending to commit crime, wanting to hurt other people, cannot have that self love attitude. I don't know why, but I don't think so. And the reason is I have read two research from different mediums saying that the people who commit crime do not feel guilty. They don't feel bad. They don't feel like they have done anything wrong. They, on the contrary, feel like it was right. They naturally, I don't know. It's like for them, it is murdering someone is as good as brushing the teeth. It's nothing wrong in it. Brushing the teeth is good and it's not wrong, and that's how they perceive it as. The other person's lives, other person's cries, other person being hurt is not something that hurt them. They lack empathy, and this is why I know that this message cannot be, you know cannot be impactful for them, but because I'm talking about self love over here. If you still have guilt in your heart, and while I'm saying this, I think about Harry Potter once again. The book has said something like that. The guilt, the grief, actually, it's about grief in the book, makes you a man. If you still have guilt in your heart, trust me, I would literally go ahead and tell you that that makes you a human, because that makes me believe that you have empathy, you have sympathy, you care about others. Okay. Yeah. I just hope all these messages are, you know, received by the people who needs it. Like literally, I want this message to be broadcasted to every one of the human in the world, because I know what powerful this message is. I know how important this is for us to learn and understand what self love or self worth is. This message is basically about self worth. And I was just giving example of self love because so to people to understand that self love is different than arrogance and self love is different than selfishness, right? So that we come on the right track of self worth. Self worth, therefore, coming from the point of self love and not from the point of arrogance or from the point of guilt, you know. And that's why I gave the example of what is self love. Coming from the point of self love is going to be, it's going to be, beneficial for a long run. It's going to be difficult, but it's going to be beneficial for a long run because self love is not about avoiding our problems. So nobody would do that. Just imagine having a friend, your close friend, and you have had a worst breakup of your life, and then you want to talk to them. They are watching TV, right? You come home and you tell them, "Hey, you know what, I want to talk to you." And imagine them watching TV and continuing to watch TV and just ignoring you altogether. How would that feel? It would feel very bad, won't it? And this is what we are doing with ourselves all the time. Haven't you noticed this pattern ever? Like when we are having any type of thoughts about our ex or about our um you know yeah, let's just take ex for an example. The breakup with the ex was so painful. When we think about that initially, we immediately wants to divert ourselves and either we'll scroll through the YouTube or we'll just scroll through the Instagram or we'll just continue seeing movies or on TV or something like that. We constantly want us to be distracted, and that part of us felt unheard. Ultimately it feels unheard. It feels like nobody's there for to listen to me. And when a person is someone who practices self-love, if you have practiced self-love for a long time, you might know what I'm talking about. If someone has practiced self-love, they wouldn't avoid themselves like that. They wouldn't avoid that little heart of themselves saying that, hey, you know what, that memory is coming in my head and then it just hurts me a little. I don't know what to do. This person who knows self-love would talk to that person instead of keeping to watch the TV. Keep watching the TV. They would talk to them as in, what made you think about him again? Why did it hurt? What triggered you? Is it, how much painful is it? I'm so sorry that it is painful to you. And they would grieve. They would let it go. They would feel sad. Letting it go is not a happy process. Letting it go is a grieving process. It's a sad process. We become sad, we become depressed, we become, we have a lot of tears coming from our eyes, we become angry, we become frustrated, and therefore we let go of anything. We cannot let go very like happily. If we are happily letting go of something, and if that thing comes in our head once again, we have not been able to let it go completely. um do you understand what I'm talking about? It is easier for us to distract ourselves from our pain rather to think about our pain and then to sit with it. But sitting with it is the practice of self love. Of course, there are, exceptions. What is the exception? If the thoughts are becoming repetition, if it's, I can't say it, like I can say it obviously, but not 100% because for that you can go to the therapist and psychologist. They would help you out. sometimes we have to let go, and sometimes what ends up happening is our mind is so habituated to think about that person over and over that we, and this might be for 1% of you, okay, this is like 99% of us is just trying to shut us down, and that's the reason that um thoughts are coming in a repetitive manner, okay, whatever it is. So sometimes we have, yes, sometimes we have to distract ourselves, but you would know when you have to distract yourself, you know what I mean? Because if distracting yourself is the easiest thing, then you can tell that you are not giving yourself the chance to talk about it to yourself, to talk about the pain that you have been through. If distracting yourself is hard and all you want to do is keep thinking about that thing, then you have to distract yourself. It's reverse psychology. It's reversed. It's not it's not straightforward. If you think distracting yourself, okay, any which ways, now don't just don't confuse yourself with this message. Just take my first message and then just let go, because I guarantee you a lot of people are just doing what I said in the first place, which is like not listening to themselves and then just trying to push themselves away, and keep distracting themselves, and that's kind of not right, right? Right. So you understood what I'm saying, right? Self love is a tough process because we have to accept that we are not perfect. We have to accept that we have thoughts of our past. We have to accept that we are not doing well and we don't know whether we can do well at all in our lifetime. We are, so it's that is self love. You know what I mean? What people think self love is, I don't know. I don't know whether you think or not, but then I know I have thought about this earlier. I've heard some of the YouTubers saying this about self love in their channel. So I know this is something that is popular. Okay. What people think self love is telling yourself compliments or, you know, good things, positive things, and just focusing on positives. That is not self love. Just focus, if you are just focusing on positives, all you're saying is your positive side is useful and lovable, but your negative side is so not lovable, dear. Just I wish that didn't exist. That's what you're saying. But negative side is our side. It's not something that we can detach. It's not something that we can just throw it away. It is still within us. It is still us. And therefore, self love is all about loving ourselves through thick and thins, loving ourselves for good and bad, being compassionate towards ourselves, being okay to be angry. Even if we have hatred toward ourselves, like even if I am angry towards me, my self love would tell me that it is okay to be angry with yourself. Tell me that it is okay to hate yourself. That is self love. And a lot of people would rather hate others than hate themselves. And I'm talking a lot in this video, guys. Good luck, whoever is listening, because it's going to take time. Or maybe it is taking time. But everything is important. It's not useless information that I'm giving you. Example, there's a guy whose name is Peter. Now, I don't know any Peter, I'm just naming it, and only Peter that I know is Peter Pettigrew, which is a Spider-Man. So I'm just making it up. I do not know this person. Okay, so if this person is in your life, don't take it that they are who I'm talking about. Okay, okay. Just wanted to put this disclaimer out there. So, if Peter has hatred towards himself, a lot of people, trust me, I can bet it's more than 80% or around 80% of the people that are doing this. And how you can see is through the YouTube comments, which I'll tell you. Okay, what is happening is Peter is, let's say he's talkative, and he do not like that part of himself. He do not like that he's talkative, because he is always and only received um, hatred for it. Everyone, including first his father, has told him that you're so talkative. I do not like it. Just shut up. And that was stuck in his head. And then later on, you know, um, his friends has shown anger towards him for being talkative, and he doesn't like it. He doesn't love that part of himself. He hate and loathe that part of himself. Now, obviously, he would, have this inner dialogue within himself, which is like, oh, I shouldn't talk like that. I shouldn't talk a lot. I shouldn't talk a lot. Oh my God, I'm such a dumb person. I shouldn't talk that much. Um, and stuff like that. Okay, so this is this negative self dialogue that happens. But once he falls in love with a girl, he's in a relationship. Now, when he is in a relationship, now they both are dating and everything, and there, you know, the girl goes out for a journey, for a trip with her friends, and then she comes back. And when she does come back, she has a lot to say to Peter. She wants to say ton of things, and then she is like, what happened? This happened, that happened, and she's just continuing to talk. So at first, Peter is like, okay, it's just that she has a lot to say. Fine, we'll listen to her. And after some time, she still continues, and then he is getting angry and frustrated, but he doesn't say anything. And after some time, she still continues to talk, and then he snaps. Shut up, Margaret. I'm just making this name again. What the hell do you think you are doing with, talking a lot? Like, I cannot mimic them. I am a person who rarely gets angry. If I do get angry, I do get angry. But then, so it's like very hard for me to do that. But yeah, what do you think of yourself when you're talking like this? What do you think? Your life is great or something? Well, you're not. And you are also not good. You're just uh, a dash or something. So, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward. So, in other words, he gets angry with her. But he talks to her with such an anger that he has never spoken to himself like that. Do you know where I'm going with this? He doesn't hate Margaret. He doesn't hate that she is talking a lot about her trip. He hates himself for being talkative. And he cannot, you know, his negative self talk is there. Yes, it is there. It does exist. But it is really easy to just direct our anger towards someone else outside of us. And this is what we see in YouTube videos as well. Like, just imagine Taylor Swift. I want to give this example. Taylor Swift, she writes love songs. She was writing, I don't know. She's a songwriter, and she has done that, writing love songs. And then there were people who were getting triggered by it, and then they were sending hate comments saying that you know what, you only think about love. What is your worth if you're just thinking about love? Why would anyone be bothered if they didn't care? Simple as that, isn't it? Like, if I do not care about something, like if I don't care about love or love stories or love songs at all, I wouldn't be listening to that listening to that song in the first place. But why is it that someone is listening to them, and it's not they are not just listening, but they are also getting angry, and also that One more thing, that she has not invited them to listen to it, has she? She has not asked, you know what, you have to listen to this one. She has not done that. So, a person is themselves going to search her video. A person is themselves listening to her songs. A person is themselves getting triggered by it. If I don't care about something, I would not get triggered by it. This is like straightforward psychology. There's nothing like too deep about this. I hope you're getting it. Very, very straightforward. I can't get triggered by something that I do not give a or care about, because in my mind it just doesn't exist, that thing. But yeah, people themselves get triggered by it, and people themselves write hate comments. Why isn't it like, even if you have mistakenly chosen that chosen that video to watch, and then they understood that this is love song and they do not like it, why isn't it that they are clicking out of the video and doing something that they would rather do? Yeah, why isn't it like that? It's simple, because a lot of people are lovesick. Okay, I will say it out. Okay, I'm not going to be shy from this thing. This is true, this is psychology, and this is what it is. So, for example, let's say Margaret. Okay, again, this example is just my made up name. I don't know anyone named Margaret. Let's just say Margaret is someone who falls in love, and who is, just who just loves love, and she has been deceived once, so she, broke up with the guy. Then again, there was some guy who couldn't, like, they couldn't work out. Then she broke up. Now she's broken. She is hurtful, but she cannot stop loving. She still falls in love. And this is hurtful. This is painful. This is sad. Yes, this is true. And she hates herself for being someone who wears her heart on the sleeve. She hates herself for being someone who loves so much. It's just because she doesn't understand how big her heart is, There's nothing wrong in loving anyone. And if you can, obviously, it hurts when you break up, but still, the process is worth it, isn't it? Like, as per me, at least. Because there are good times as well. It's not that there are only bad times. And then when Margaret, type of person, goes to the YouTube channel and then they see someone like her, she snaps out. And again, people would rather hate others than hate themselves. And this is why self-love is really a little bit difficult. Not really difficult. Yeah, actually, really difficult. Um, it is difficult because we accept ourselves hating ourselves. And this will just shatter us down. Once I accept that I hate myself, then I just cry a big amount of tears. That's it. Because it's not a good feeling to hate yourself. You know what I mean? That's why it's a natural phenomenon. It's not like people are doing it on purpose. People would rather hate others than hate themselves. Um, yeah, and I would like to go forward and say that self-love is something that takes up a lot of courage. And trust me, God has given us the courage that we deserve, that we need. You will never fall short of it. I will never fall short of it because it is coming from God themselves, right? Yeah. So this was it for today's video. I hope it helped. Let me know in the comments down below who watched it till the end, okay? Yeah. Thank you for watching. Bye. Have a nice day. I hope this helps, really. Goodbye.